All right. Okay. Now we're back live. We get started. So today we have a guest whose journey is about spreading awareness to women in the car scene and being a public figure to the women in the car scene. So it'd be a very good thing to hear her mindset, her story, and get into like where she started at. So I'll let our guest tell us where she's from and who she is, and then we'll get started.
Okay. Um, Hi, my name is Rafe. Um, and I currently live in Los Angeles, California, and I'm working on a project car on my TikTok page. And I started my page just to basically spread awareness that the car scene obviously is for more than just a group of specific individuals, such as men. I feel like women are often overlooked in the car scene and just or looked down upon. And I just wanted to change that and just show that other people can also do it, even if you don't know much about cars. Have a nice car, even if you want to classify nice and good cars, which you can't really do that. But just to basically encourage people to try new things and just explore your passions. And if that's something that you would like to do, then I hope that I can inspire other people to do that. So that's kind of what my mission is with my page and just what I inspire to do for other people.
So and we hope to help. We hope to help with that. I hope one day, not hope, one day the podcast will be big enough, and everybody who comes a part of it will be able to get a second chance to share their story and have it seen by a lot of people. So let's get started to like where it all began at. So before you got into the car scene, how was you connected to it as a child?
I feel like as a kid, I wasn't really around cars too much at the beginning. So I always had a sort of fascination. Growing up, we didn't have a lot of vehicles to take us from point A to point B. We would take the bus all the time. And then I remember the first time my dad came home telling us that he had bought a car for the first time. That was where I really began to fall in love with it because of my dad. And he didn't know much about cars. So he kind of just bought the first one that he saw. It was like a 2007 Lexus ES350, and it for some reason just changed a lot in my own mind as a kid because we went from not having something to take us around to having the whole city within just a little grasp, and I feel like that really can change your perspective as a person. And then growing up, I started to realize how much community there was around just cars itself, like not just the fact that a lot of people had them, but the fact that a lot of people loved them too. That it wasn't just something that takes you from point A to point B. It's something that allows you to enjoy the journey entirely. And then eventually, when um like early teen years, I really involved myself around a lot of people who really liked cars for aesthetic as well, like JDM cars, muscle cars, all of that stuff. And I thought that it was really interesting the diversity that the car scene brings to other people. And that kind of just set me off after that.
Okay, so give me a moment that really tied the connection between you and the and like cars in the car scene.
I had this friend once who just absolutely loved cars, like so much. He would ramble on for hours and I would not understand a single thing he was talking about. He was like, these engines go fast, and that was it. That's all I gathered. I was like, engine, fast, car, cool. And there was this one time where we were passing by, it was well, now that I know, it was a Miata MX, it was a MX-5, it was, like, the more modern ones. Miata's obviously a very tiny car, and I'm not the very tallest person, I feel like I'm pretty short, I'm, like, 4'10" and a half. I'm 4'10", and we were passing by as we were walking to the park, I think. I don't remember where we were walking, but he points at the car and he's like, "That's you as a car because it's tiny and you're tiny." And I was like, "Okay. I okay. That's pretty funny." And then after that, like, every time we saw a Miata or, like, just a version of it, I'd be like, "Hey, that's my car." And then eventually it became an inside joke, and I started learning more about the car, and I feel like that little Miata is what really sent me into just, like, the whole wormhole. Like, as a kid, I always knew, like, "Oh, cars are cool. I really like cars. I like driving." I learned to drive when I was, like, I think 8 years old. My dad put me in
Okay,
his
young.
car. Yeah. He would just take me around the DMV parking lot on Super Bowl Sunday. It became a tradition. Every Super Bowl Sunday, he would take me to the DMV parking lot. We would just drive around for, like, at least an hour or 2 and then go home. But after that experience with the Miata, I just really fell into it, and then I finally had something to talk about my friend with. We finally had something in common, and he would teach me about all these things, and it was just I feel like that was the moment where I really decided, like, "Oh, I'm interested in this, and I see so much potential for myself in this hobby, basically, in this lifestyle."
That's that's a pretty dope story. An inside joke turned to like an actual passion. So
Exactly.
that's something you love to see. So what captured you like to the car scene before you like really got into it? Was it the like you said it was your dad, but like what about like the culture part that actually like captured you
I
into
feel
the
like
car
the
scene?
community. I feel like the community had a lot to do with it. A lot of the people, like, obviously, there's and not everybody's perfect in the community. There's obviously those people who stereotype other people like, "Oh, your car isn't cool enough. Your car isn't new enough. Your car isn't fast enough." But it was really the
Hmm.
people who just knew how to welcome you and just saw potential in you, like people who just go up to you and say, "Oh, you have a vision. I bet it's gonna be great." Not, "Oh, you have a stupid car. I wonder what you're gonna do with it, and it's not gonna work." And like people who don't look down on you. And I really appreciated all the people that were around me, like that were interested in cars that didn't make me feel like a weirdo about it. Like if you tell as a girl, if you're telling a guy like, "Oh, I like cars," they're like, "Oh, yeah, you probably like the newer cars, you don't really know what you're talking about." But there's also those people that are like, "Oh, really? Okay, what kind of car do you like? Oh, do you drive? What kind of car do you drive?" Like, people who are actually interested in getting to know you. Like, I feel like those people really allowed like, they opened a door for me. They didn't, like, keep me locked out, you know? Like that type of thing. I feel like that had a lot to do with it too. Because if you're consistently getting, like, torn down talking about, "You don't know what you're talking about, you don't understand," then obviously you're gonna be like, "Oh, well, I'm gonna cut my losses and turn tail and run the other way." But thankfully, I didn't have to go through all that.
So that's good. So you would say you got a warm welcome into the car scene.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's good. But because a lot of people don't get that experience when they enter in the
Yeah,
car scene. Like some, like you say, some get pressured, some get bullied for like the car that they want to build, or they get judged for their. So a lot of people don't get that warm welcome that you know you would hope people get coming into the car scene. Because one,
exactly.
I feel like if you love cars enough, you will allow people to find their own dream build within like their car. You wouldn't bash it. Like
Exactly.
you could give like an opinion, but you can't tell somebody how to actually build their car. So like I feel like that's a part of the car scene that we really well we we can't change it, but you just hope that people get that warm welcome into the car scene rather than just like being shunned out because of the car they have. It's just everything that meant to be a race car or a drag car. It's not like that. I feel like it's changing. The car scene kind of changing. You got the racing side, and then you got the aesthetic side of it. And I
Mhm.
feel like the aesthetic side of it is really starting to pop off now because a lot of people get into the car scene to express like how they build their car. So I feel like that's really taken off with a lot of cars in today's car scene. So it is good that you got that welcome. That's one thing I would love for people to have is that welcome. And that's one thing that I'm working on behind the scenes. Like a few people know about it so far, but off the podcast, I'll tell you about it because it's still a work in progress. So I ain't trying to put it out there just yet,
Yeah, yeah. Understood.
but I can definitely tell you about it. So as you enter the car scene, right? What's your first experience when you entered the car scene?
Um, First experience entering the car scene, mm, it was pretty scary. I remember the first meet that I went to, I had gone to go meet with my friend, and they never
Mhm.
showed up. They never showed up, so I was kinda just there by myself. But, I made a couple of friends at the meet that I had gone to, like, they were just asking me out of curiosity, like, just about my car, because I didn't take the S13, I took my daily car, because at the time, the S13, like, wasn't turning on. So I had just taken my daily driver, and people were just asking me a ton of questions, getting to know me, and I really appreciated it. Again, I wasn't expecting all that. I thought I was gonna get like cast aside because one, because I didn't have a nice car like everybody else was driving. They were bringing in their BMWs, they were freaking with their Mercedes, and like all of this stuff. It was honestly a pretty the car meet was more based on like financially expensive cars, not like
Mm,
personal cars with stories that people just like, it wasn't like one of those, which I thought it was gonna be. But no, a lot of the people were a little nice, and obviously there were other people who were just like, "Ah, get out of here, like, you don't know what you're doing here." I was like, "I don't know what I'm doing here, that's why I need help." But no, it was okay. Again, there are people who are always gonna try to put you down, but you can't let that happen. So, but it was pretty interesting. I will say I thought it was gonna be worse than it was. Honestly,
okay. Why you say that?
'cause a lot of people will say, like, a lot of fights and, like, just arguments happen at car meets, like, "Oh, my car's better, blah, 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 blah," blah," like, that type of stuff, and then, eventually cops get called or whatnot, so I was scared because I was like, "Oh, no, I don't wanna be a part of that, that's scary." So, I had gone with the intention of, like, "Oh, it's gonna go bad, I shouldn't have came," but then eventually, like, that's all, like, propaganda that other people, like, show. It's like,
Hmm.
that's definitely not what it is at all. The culture is definitely still there, and it was just better than I had expected it to be, and that's always great, like,
I feel like I talk about it a lot with like everybody that come on the podcast, and we talk about social media. So I say I feel like you see the bad side more than you see the good side of the car scene.
Mhm.
And for somebody new coming in the car scene, the only thing you will see is the bad side of it. Like you don't get to see like the car scene like at its peak or like the good parts of the car scene.
Yeah.
That's not shown as much as we would like it to be. Like recently with everything going on with the car scene, it is a little like it's like, like should I get into it or should I just leave it alone? But I feel like if we if we can show the real side of the car scene, the good side that get overshadowed, then I feel like people will start to gravitate more to that because they see that. And with social media in today's world, the only thing you see is the bad side of it, the takeovers. Not
Mhm.
takeovers, but the takeover mindsets where they just going to ruin meets and stuff like that. You see that more than you see the good side of the car scene. I just feel like if we can start showing the good side of it, the car scene might get back to what it used to be. But it's a 50-50 toss up.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. I'm not the biggest fan of takeovers. Like, on a very rare occasion, I think a takeover is okay if it's, like, a deserted street where nobody's at. Like, if I don't know, it's just a lot of the younger generation, like my generation of drivers, especially from the male drivers, just think that it's, like, really cool to just, like, you're just stopping traffic in, like, a really, because I live in LA, so the takeovers
Hmm.
here are really bad when they have takeovers.
I've
Sure,
seen that.
yeah, it's cool. Drifting cars is cool. I'm never gonna say like, "Oh, drifting cars is stupid." Like, this is reckless. Like, I don't care. I'll drift it. I want to learn how to drift a car. It's the whole reason I'm building my car. I just think like it can be done a lot better than the way that they are doing it now. And I know that that is a very controversial take. Every time I'm like caught in the street and there's a takeover, I just get so I'm like, dude, it's the middle of rush hour, and you're stopping the flow of traffic immense. Like, there's so many other streets, there's so many
It
other,
is.
like, places you can go to do it, and you can stay for longer, and you don't have to run away from the cop. Like, it's the whole thing, and just to me, it's just like, just work smarter, not harder. Like, you don't have to. And plus, again, it also makes the adults hate the car scene as well, and then, it's just it's a bad light on all of us, I think, but people are obviously, people are still gonna do what they wanna do, but that's just my personal opinion.
So I'll be honest. I'm not gonna name drop or say anybody names, but I got a real good friend. I'm gonna say that I had a real good friend that I basically grew up with since like high school, and him and his friends, used to they would go and spin, right?
Mhm,
But they never did it in the takeover fashion. They would go to
mhm,
an empty parking lot where nobody was at. It was always an empty lot where no cars, you couldn't harm, no traffic. Like you said, it was deserted. So if something went wrong, the only thing that could go wrong is if they crashed to each other. But they would do that and they would record it. Now you you can divide that because it's not as dangerous as a physical
Exactly.
takeover.
Exactly.
The crowds never got that big at a takeover. No, it never shut down public streets where you got people just getting mad and just driving through. So it was never nobody at risk while they
Exactly.
were. So I feel like if more people did that instead of taking over streets, intersections like where we drive at, then maybe the takeover scene wouldn't. I don't like it. I'm gonna be honest to you. I'm
You know, I've
against it for multiple reasons, but
yeah, I've never been to one. But again, like like you said, like if even in like isolated areas like a parking lot, if anything were to happen, it would be to them and their cars. And
mhm,
that's what my biggest issue is if you're taking over like an actual intersection where people are driving. Because I've seen firsthand, I've been like in the epicenter of a takeover and it's just a frenzy of cars trying to get around it, but also kids who are like in the channels of the drop, like, locations, they're all flooding in at the same time while people are trying to get out. The kids are all getting out of their cars to go stand in a circle and record, and it's, like, just so bad. There's so much liability in just that. You have kids running around, and you have regular civilians in the cars. You have people walking on the street. Like, it's scary. It's really scary, and I think, like, it just doesn't make much sense. Like you said, you can be in an isolated area, you could go to a parking lot. Sure, like, the most they'll tell you to do is leave, but at the same time, like, that's not even that bad. Go to a different parking lot. Go to a different parking lot. Go to the one across the street, like, it's
it's my new parking lot. So I
exactly.
just feel like, and that's still as fun as doing it. I gotta say, I
Yeah,
never been to one, but I have been. I can't sit and say I'm a saint, and I've never been around it. I've been around friends that does spin a car, but it's never in a space where they putting innocent people at risk. It's the
yeah,
people who are there with them, and that's it. So if you want to do something like that, then do something like that, but do it privately or do it somewhere
exactly.
where you can't injure nobody at. And then I bet the car scene wouldn't get such a bad rep because, as you said, the adults, like the people my age, like in their 30s or getting up to their 30s, like 25 and up, we sent back and we were like, no, we can't have nothing, because it's one. It goes from just takeovers to just people going to actually nice car meets and doing burnouts or running from the police or even trying to do takeovers there. Like not in the street, but like in the actual meet itself. And it's just like you're just ruining something somebody put their hard work into by trying to show out or by trying to be the center of attention. It 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 does. It put the car meet itself or the car community itself in the bad standpoint with that kind of behavior. Like I said, we can't fix it and it comes out of nowhere. But
Mhm.
switch it real quick. What are some challenges that you ran into getting into the car scene, if there was any?
What are some challenges? Um, Again, I'll definitely say just those people who just egos are too big, I guess. Just who don't want people who don't like new people basically who don't appreciate new people because there's always those people who are at it from birth like oh my dad was a mechanic or oh I've always been into cars versus the person like me who wasn't into cars or I guess wasn't into cars in the beginning and then suddenly got into cars, so people differentiate those two different people and just separate them completely. So I feel like there's definitely challenges of being new to it versus growing up with it because
I
obviously
agree with that.
my experience is going to be different than somebody whose family owns a body shop or somebody who's been rebuilding a car since like birth basically or that type of thing. I feel like that's definitely a challenge in its own. Also the mental challenge that you take, like especially if you have your own build, like
Mhm.
your own project, I feel like there's a lot of mental challenge to it. Like I know that when I'm doing stuff like working on the car, I can get very frustrated and very impatient and just like sometimes I feel kind of like, oh, you know what, this isn't good enough. Like everybody else has better cars. It has to be better. It has to sound better. It has to look better. But that's basically just one of the things that doesn't matter. Like, as long as it's perfect to me, as long as it means something to me, as long as I built it with my 2 hands, it's enough, you know? And I feel like knowing that about an inanimate object like a car can help you learn to feel that for yourself as well, especially when you're dealing with other people. I feel like that's really a good thing. And that's why I really appreciate like the position that I'm in to be fortunate enough to have my own project car at such a young age. Know that not a lot of
Right.
people are able to do that. But yeah, I feel like it's the mental challenge is a lot to handle to like at a young age. I can't even imagine that like an older person like with a job and kids and like is still working on the car and they're frustrated. I'm like, oh hell no, you got me fucked up. Like I can't even write an essay and have to go work on the car. I'm like, you have 5 kids and you're my hero. It's insane. Yeah. I feel like those are just some of it. Honestly, the challenges are worth every single moment because just being a part of the community, being just having something, it just makes it all worth it.
Speaking on that, so like I said earlier with my car, right? I had it for like two going on 3 years now, right?
Mhm.
And it recently stopped. It recently went down like probably like 3, 4 months ago. It went down. I was driving it, and then it started misfiring, and then it's cut all the power, and it turned off. So for me with that car, I always get told to just sell it and just get something new. But that car literally started. It started everything. It was the start of my first car group. It was the start of like my first car meet. The start of my like this my car scene journey. That car started everything. So I do have just like bond to it where I just like I no matter what. Because yesterday my uncle came and he scanned it. No, he came and he heard me try to turn it on. He was like, Neff. He was like, Neff. I'm like, nah. Nope. He was like, I don't hear no compression. I'm like, nah. Listen again. Like, I need you to listen again because he been doing cars like his like whole life. So he got a business doing cars. So anytime my car break down, I call him. And he was like, Neff. He was like, I ain't hearing no compression. I said, so you're telling me I need a new engine. And he was like, that's what it sounded like, Neff. I had ended up my fuel system was messing up because I put a new fuel pump in it and it turned on, but then it turned right back off. And that was like a month ago. So just last night, I got the sending unit put in and it turned on last night.
Shit.
That car for me, like if I let it go, it's like I'm letting go of like everything that got me to where I am now. And I don't know, I just can't do that with that car. Like I
It's
just
like an
can't.
extension of yourself. I get it. No, I
Yeah,
get it.
I just can't. So
Yeah.
now, probably over the weekend, I'm trying to fix the rest of the problems with it, and then hopefully get it back on the road real, real soon. Hopefully, that's that's been my biggest challenge of being in the car scene myself is that car. Like it, me between me breaking it, well, between me breaking it and me fixing it, and then how long it takes for me to get it back on the road. That's been my biggest challenge with that car and the car scene for me. But that's my baby. I can't let it go.
But
I
yeah,
can't let it go.
I feel the exact same way. The story about me and my car, the project car, is that is actually really funny. It has to go back again to the Miata story with my friend. Originally, I wanted a Miata. Like that was just like, oh, I'm gonna get it because of the inside joke, and that's the car that brought me into everything. I need that car. But I was looking at it from like before I even got my license, before I got my permit, before anything. I was like, "Oh, but I'm in high school. I'm still young. Like, I'm gonna wanna go out in the car. I'm gonna wanna, like, take my friends in the car." It's two-seater. So I was like, I've always been in love with the S13, and it's basically, like, just a longer Miata. Like, if you really think about it, it's like just a longer Miata. I don't know, the just the body of the S13 originally, I was going for a '89 because I like the hatch, but then, like, the coupe was, like, thrown at me, and I was like, "You know what? I could work with this one." I think, like, I've been seeing too many coupes for, like, the affordable price that I was looking for, and then a lot of hatches, but, like, they were all, like, so badly messed up. So I was like, "You know what? I'll take the coupe." That car, I still remember driving all I drove all the way to Bakersfield to go pick it up, and I drove all the way back. And I showed my mom, and she was like, "You're kidding. You didn't actually get the car." I told her, I was like, "I'm gonna get a car. I'm gonna get S13." She was like, "No, you're not." I showed her a picture, and she's like, "You didn't get that car. That's an old car. What are you gonna do with an old car?" And then just after that, I just went completely crazy. Like, I was like, "Oh my gosh, I actually own the car. This is the car. This is the car that I had on my lock screen. This is the car that I look like." I was in class bored on OfferUp looking for this car, and now it's just sitting in my driveway. Like, I saved up for that car, I think, for 4 years, and I finally bought it as my graduation gift to myself. When I grad
Respect.
when I graduated high school, that's the only thing I wanted. I just wanted that car, and my dad helped me, like, actually buy it, and I will always appreciate my dad for that so much. He really supports me in everything that I do, and I I love him. He's amazing. Just that car, I've only been with it for a couple months. I just recently graduated the beginning of this year, but it means so much to me because it shows so much growth in just me as a person in these couple of months. Like, everything I went to when having from meeting that friend, learning about cars, just getting into the car, looking for the car, saving for the car, just buying the car, driving the car, everything just put into this one vehicle just means so much to me. And breaking it down was therapeutic in a way, like, everything that I had experienced from the beginning, every, like, just horrible thing that had ever happened to me was put into the car. I broke down the car the same way that I myself was broken down, and now I'm building it back up with myself, and it feels so amazing to me and just so,
Mhm.
like, I wish everybody has that experience on their own because it just makes you as a person feel lighter and happier and healthier and just it's it means so much to me, and I hope that, like, to other people it means the exact same much. Like, I don't know.
It's like a full circle moment almost.
Exactly, yeah.
Like it's something you work like really hard for, and then when you cause in retrospect to that story, mine with the car. So right now, my first car was a '08 Mercedes. It's the same car that I have now, right? But when I first got it, I had it for like a week top. And then the transmission went out. It went out real bad. It was sipping gears real bad. When I first got that car, like within that week, though, like when it did work, I fell in love with it. Like the one thing about Mercedes I give them is the car is very comfortable.
Mhm,
But then, being that I had a V8, well, a V8, no, V8's not that amazing. The way it drove, how fast it picked up on speed, like I'm not beating everybody, and I'm not trying to. It's just the way that it just drove. I felt like it was for me. It was a perfect car. Eh, it was just way too smooth, right?
mhm.
It's way smooth. It has the power, and then if I need to, I can get out and no, I need to. So then that first week, I fell in love with it, but then it went down. So I ended up I ended up getting it again. I saved up for it, and I got it again 2 years ago. And I was like, now that I have it again, it's not getting away from me. Like I'm gonna do everything I want to it because the plan I have now for it, I found the color. I'm getting it two tone inside in. I mean, goddamn inside in. I'm doing it two tone. So the same color is on the outside, be the
Mhm.
same color it'll be in the inside. So I'm gonna do a two tone wrap on it, and then two tone interior on it. So that's a goal I have for it, and that's why I got to keep it. So like I know for you though, to save up for 4 years and then get it as a gift to yourself for graduation, that's something that's gonna stick with you for like forever.
Yeah,
And
I
I'm pretty sure that car isn't going anywhere.
it's not going any I don't care if, like, the day of tomorrow that some random person pulls the engine out of the shell, I don't care. I'm getting a new one, I don't care. The
Mhm.
car, it's if I could put that car, like, on a wall, I would do it because, like, it just again, it means so much, and it just I feel like have you ever seen How to Train Your Dragon?
Yeah.
So, you know how, like, the whole movie is, like, him, like, just being nice to the dragon because they all kill them, and it I don't think you'll remember, but it's one of my favorite movies. Um, in one of the movies, he's talking about how the reason he didn't kill the dragon is because the dragon was just as afraid as he was, and that, like, he saw himself in that's how I feel with my car. Like, that's like, I saw the car, I was like, "Damn, that like, I remember the first picture I saw, like, I was like, "Damn, that looks like shit, like, that thing is beat up. That thing is done, it's on his and I was like, "Wait, I'm done and on my last limit." Like, you know? It was, like, one of those things where I was like, I think this is the one that I need. Like, there obviously, there were so many better options. There were cars with, nicer interior, um, better mileage, better pricing, but for some reason, this car really stuck with me. And then I was like, "No, this is definitely the one." And then we picked it up. A couple weeks later, my dad was like, "Yeah, no, I think you bought yourself a lemon because this car is not the one." And he was like, "What if we just sell this one and buy another one? Like, buy another of this car?" I was like, "No, I can't do that." I was like, This is the one. You have to trust me. This is the one." And he was like, "Okay, whatever you say." And just I I really feel like that car is another extension of myself as a person, and I feel like it shows a lot of how I've grown and how this car will grow with me, you know?
Mhm. Because also, like you said earlier, you mentioned how you do it through TikTok. When you go for anybody who does go and watch the videos, you can see the car becoming more than just a car. It honestly becomes a part of who you are. And then with you recording it, it just shows the journey of you and that car going from literally point A to point B to point C. It'd be like you can document that whole journey from you working on it to
Exactly.
you turning it on to you doing the upgrades to it. So like it's gonna start your journey and it's gonna make your journey. Because
Exactly.
the one thing I've learned is people love to see a build from the ground up rather than seeing it
Exactly.
halfway. So starting it fresh like that, and you get people to see you grow with the car. They get to see like who you are as a person, and then they get to see you express yourself through your car. So
Mhm.
I feel like that's something that we don't get to see a lot nowadays. So when we do see it, it is something worth watching. I'll say.
No, yeah, 100%. Obviously, like, I'm not the biggest influencer in the world, but I definitely knew once I got the car, I was like, "Yeah, no, I have to share this experience." And even if it's not with a lot of people, even if it's not with hundreds and thousands of people, it's something for me to document on my own and just look back on. And I just know that, like, in 10 years' time, I'm gonna look back at these videos, I'm gonna be like, "Oh my god, I can't believe it used to look like that. I can't believe that's what used to sit in my freaking driveway. I can't believe that, like, if something major happens, I'd be like, "Oh, this was before this big thing happened. I'm glad I documented it." Like, you know? It's one of those things, and I feel like you said, a lot of people don't really you don't really get to see the beginning stages of it. You don't even get to see the very beginning. You just see, like,
Mm-mm.
after it's been a couple years, or if, like, you're, just midway point. And I knew that that was gonna separate me from other creators that are also on the same platform that just do the same thing. I knew that it was getting a head start obviously is the best thing to do, and that's something that my dad taught me and told me. So he was like, "Yeah, if you can make money off of it." And I was like, at the same time, money doesn't really have a lot to do with it. Obviously, like, there's creators bigger than me who get so much from views and, like, comments and engagement that fund their car, but for me, it's different because I don't have that, and I am doing it all on my own. Like, I feel like that is also really important and, like, special for people to see that, like, I if I can do it, you
You
definitely
can-
can do it, you know?
And the one thing I tell everybody though, like when you getting into something, if you're doing it because you genuinely have a passion for it, keep chasing that passion. Because I
Mhm.
promise you, when you keep chasing that passion and you're not really worried about the money comes in ways that you will never see it coming. So
Exactly.
as long as you got a passion for something, just chase that passion, and then the money itself will come. It will come whenever you need it most, or whenever it just lines up with the point of your growth. So don't worry about the money and your passion, bro. Just stay passionate what you're passionate about, and then like the money just comes to you. So that's one thing I should say. Like this podcast, like I work on it like day in day out. Like I'll be up all night working on it, and I'm back up. I get off. Well, I get up in the morning. I'm back to working on it. I take a break every now and again, but like
Mhm.
I'm just so it became a passion because like I love talking to people. I love meeting new people, especially like in the car scene. And I love hearing their background, like where they came from. Because then like it inspires me to try to figure out how to push that and let other people hear somebody's story. So like I'm not I don't want to be this big public figure. I don't want to be like like a influencer. I don't want that. The only thing I want is just to bring people together through this podcast. That's the only thing I want from it.
Yeah, for sure.
So
But yeah,
that's why I
I
say if you're passionate about it, just keep going.
yeah, that's something my family really tells me a lot because I feel like I'm a person who does a lot of things, or at least is interested in a lot of things. That's why my bio literally on TikTok, it says jack of all trades, because I feel like I just have my foot in so many doors, and it's honestly insane to keep up with. I feel like um a lot of this year has just been me questioning like what I like and what I should like and what I shouldn't like, or just what I want to get into or what I should get out of, and just trying to find myself as a person, because obviously I'm a young adult. I just got into college. I just bought this car, and like I was like, "Oh, maybe I'm getting too ahead of myself. Maybe everybody's right," or just but when it's like those moments that I'm working in the car or I'm in school working, I just really feel like these are the things that I really like to do. And even if I wasn't getting paid, even if I like wasn't just securing anything from it, it's what I love to do and it's my passion, and I just really want to see it through. I feel like I'm a person who I I don't want to say quit a lot, but I feel like I just can like um easily leave things that I do, like leave things unfinished because I cut myself short. There's a difference between that and just genuinely being a quitter, like, "Oh, I'm not gonna do this shit anymore." Like, there's a difference between just dropping something completely and just getting so scared that you put it down because you're scared that you will eventually drop it. And
I
with
understand
these
that
2
one.
things, like my school and the car, these are things that I don't wanna leave. I don't wanna turn heel and run the other way. I wanna see it through because I see potential in these both things, and the car specifically, like I said, it being an extension of myself makes it more real to me, makes it more vulnerable and just honest and something real that not a lot of people see, especially like older people like my parents and my mom. She wouldn't understand like the half of what I'm saying right now. She'd be like, just sell
Yeah,
the car. It doesn't even everybody in my family is like, just sell the car, it doesn't even turn on. And I'm like, who doesn't turn on? I have videos of me driving the car. They're like, no, it doesn't turn on enough. But yeah, I feel like the little moments really just they fuel the passion. It's not like just a whole thing that can be explained. It's little things, little moments, little like is literally being out on the street and geeking whenever you see like a nice car. Nobody it doesn't even have to be
sure.
driving. It could be sitting in the parking lot. It could be one of those cars that's parked with the tarp over it. You're like, "Oh, I wonder what's under there." Like
No, for real
it's
though.
the I think I think I spent like 15 minutes looking at the car with one of my friends, just trying to figure out what was under there. Cause we are like, "Oh, what is it?" And they're like, "I think it's a Lotus." I was like, "No, it can't be." Like we were just there for 15 minutes. We were like, "Can we take the tarp off?" But it was like one of those that was secured on the bottom, and I was like, "Yeah, let's
Uh,
not do that." Nah, but
did y'all
it
figure
definitely
out what it was?
no. I think we did settle on a Lotus, that it was a Lotus.
Okay, we go switch it up a little bit, right? So you kind of explained earlier the start of your page, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
What made you start it? So what do you want it to represent? Like from day one, what do you want your page to represent?
I think not in like a selfish way at all, but I think I just want it to represent me. I want it
Hmm.
to tell my story, again, how I came into the car scene, how it's going, and how it will go.
Hmm.
I feel like, not a lot of people do that part. Like, not a lot of people make their page personal, you know what I mean? So, if you see a car page, it's always just, like, about the car, how the car is doing, what happened to the car. But, like, for me, I kinda want it to show, like, my page is kinda right now, it's, like, mainly car based, but I wanted to lean more towards, like, myself as well, like, you know how people do like the day in my life video? Like not necessarily those, but
Mhm.
just show myself and who I am and why I love the car and just get people to it's a way for me to tell my story. More that's the biggest takeaway of it. And again, that's not something you really see. So I feel like if I do it or if I start, I can inspire other people to do the same thing. Maybe not even with a car, like it could just be anything else. It could just be like, oh, I'm an artist and I want to show my art, but I also want to explain to you who I am as a person. Because I feel like if you understand the person behind everything, you understand the actions. It's like saying, oh, I'm
Correct.
going to paint my car red. But what you're not seeing is, oh, my mom's favorite color was red, like, and that's why I'm painting it red. Like, there's a difference between the action and the story and meaning behind it. I feel like most pages are just the action, and my page, I want to tell the story that helps you understand, if that makes
Okay,
sense.
good. It makes sense because Tajir, he also came on and did the podcast, and he said behind behind every part, behind every build or every mod you do to your car, there's a story behind it. And
Exactly.
I feel like that's exactly what you just said. Like every decision you make, there's a story behind every choice and every part you put on your car. There's a story behind why you did that certain part or that certain color. So like every part does have its own story tied to your like main story. So you combining two, it's a good way to it's a good way to engage with the people who do support you. The way that they see like, oh well, her whole identity isn't just her car. She's showing you
Exactly.
both sides of like who she is. So that is great content. That is a good way to like express yourself and get yourself out there in both ways. So it is dope you're doing that. Like I said, you can see it also too through the videos if you actually watch them. Like you can see like the both sides of the story from the car and to you. So I do actually like the content a lot. So was it scary putting your journey into the public?
Um, I think so, and I think it was mainly just fear of rejection. So, like, it was kinda just like, "Oh, I'm gonna post this video, it's gonna get, like, 2 likes. It's gonna get 3 views." Like, I feel like there's always some sort of, like, "Oh, people are gonna hate me, I'm gonna get canceled, like, they're not gonna like." But I feel like a lot of that has to do with overcoming or it has to do with overcoming that and just knowing that you have something important to say and you should say it. So, basically that, like, my story has meaning, I can show it to people. And, like, people are obviously not the world isn't perfect, people are obviously gonna still put you down at some point, leave
Yeah.
a rude comment or just, like, unfollow you for some like, if I don't know you personally, I don't care. Like, if you don't know me as a person, I don't know you as a person, what are your words gonna do to me? So, I
It
used
shouldn't
to
matter.
yeah, I feel like I overcame that at a young age because I was, like, very heavily bullied in school. So, like, growing up, I kinda learned, like, do you know what? At the end of the day, it doesn't matter, like, it doesn't matter what people say, it doesn't matter what people do. All that matters is I'm doing what I love, and I'm just inspiring other people to do what they love at the same time. I feel like that is bigger than one person telling me that, like, I don't know what I'm doing, you know?
It is. It really is. And I can definitely relate with being bullied because I was. You probably haven't heard it yet, or I might slip up. So if I do slip up, growing up, I had a speech problem where I stutter a lot. Right. So I definitely understand the part where like fear of rejection because I at a certain point I just stopped talking. If I knew you, I would talk to you. If I didn't know you, I would do your head nod or a peace sign, and that was that. So people thought I was just like standoffish, but no, like it was. It got to a point where it did affect me personally because now I'm like I can have a conversation without stuttering and then get picked on for it. So for a while, I just stopped talking. But then I gotta say, I kind of owned it at some point, and I was like, "That's just who I am. That's just
Yeah,
me." So yeah,
that
eventually
definitely
I got over it.
yeah, that definitely has a lot to do with it. I feel like it's just a reflection of the parts of ourself that we don't like.
Hmm.
So, maybe and not to say like, "Oh, because I have a problem with something of myself, I hate it," or other people are gonna hate it too. Like, that's definitely what goes through my mind. Like, I my thing was kinda just that I just wouldn't speak. I would let things happen to me. Like, I would let people, like, push me around or just treat me like I was less than because I was afraid to speak up for myself. That has a lot to do with like things that I went through growing up and just things that I had to work through on my own. And I knew that nobody was going to come and save me. Nobody was going to tell people to stop, that I had my own voice that I needed to use to tell myself that I was more than what they were telling me, you know? Like those type of things. And I feel like that helped me a lot start the internet in a way because like if you can do that with yourself and a person that's close to you, somebody like at school that you see every day or at work that you see every day or just something like that, then you can definitely do that on the media because it's easier. You're not seeing these people every day. You see them once on your feed, they leave a hate comment, they leave. Like you never see them again. You never like I don't even know what you look like. You can have like one of those default account photos, and for all I know, you could be my mother. Like I don't know. I just to me, I try to find humor in it. I feel like it makes it easier to deal with. You know
It does. Because at some point you gotta look at it like, if you really trying to go that far out of your way to make me feel some way about myself,
exactly.
bro, then the issue is not with me. The issue is within yourself.
100%.
Yeah.
I feel like, honestly, I feel like it boosts my ego a little bit. I'm like, wow, you really took the time out of your day to tell me that I'm doing something stupid. Like, you really took the 5 seconds that it took to type that in your phone, hit send, and then continue on with your doom scrolling. Like,
Yeah, this and at some point, like you think about it, you do like really think about it. Um, for you to try to make somebody else that miserable, or if you try to make them feel a certain way because of what they're doing or how they're doing it, it really just shows the type of person like them people are. And I've learned like what my pops used to always tell me, you are the only person that can make yourself mad. And
exactly.
growing up, I didn't understand that. I was just like, oh, like that makes sense. But then I was just like, nah, that makes a lot of sense because just because you say something or you did something, it don't mean I have to give you a response. It don't mean
Exactly.
I gotta pay it any mind. So like once I fully like went where he meant, nah, you can talk all day, but like I said, I built myself up, like I say, because I back in the day I got picked on for like stuttering and stuff, and it was bad to a certain point. So finally I just stopped caring. Say say what you want, bro. Like the only thing you try to do is get a reaction out of me. You're not getting that. Like I could care less.
Yeah.
I could care less. So
That's
it
really
is. It
Mhm.
the hell? Anyways. Um, okay. On the same topic, like what kind of content you felt came natural to you when you was expressing your story? Or as you expressed your story with the car and you.
Mm, I feel like honestly, I feel like I took a lot of inspiration from this other creator. Um, his name is Austin, and he also has an S13, but he has a Sylvia, and his page is kind of similar because he like just recently started making car content. He was already a big creator because of what he did originally, but he started making car content and he also did like kind of just little skimmits of what he also does in his daily life. And I thought that it was really cool. And I was like, oh, I can probably do that too. It doesn't seem that like if you really like break it down, social media doesn't seem that difficult until you're at a certain point where it becomes like everything you have to do. Like there's a difference between me making a 1-minute video and editing it for, like, maybe 20 minutes, and then, like, somebody who's, like has a million followers and makes a 24, like, minute long video and edits it for 5 days straight. Like, there's a difference. Like, the complexities of it, there's definitely different standards. Like, I'm not gonna take my time and edit a 1-minute video for 10 hours to post it for, like, 100 followers. Like, no. I try to make things simple for not only the people watching and for myself. I feel like it's easier, and I feel like the way that, um, the influencer that I'm talking about that inspired me, the way that he did it was kind of a good mix in between, you know what I'm saying? So I feel like that type of style catered to me a lot more because I was like, "Oh, well, I don't know too much about cars to only talk about cars." So that was one of my things too. Is like I could sit with you and talk about cars. I could sit with you and talk about like mechanical things. I know nothing about electrical. Don't even ask me a single electrical. If it's not a fuse, I'm not touching it. I'm not touching
Not
it.
at not at all, because I ain't got time to do one thing and they
Oh
call
my
show me up.
god.
Yeah, no, I'm straight
It's
off
so
that.
stressful. And I have like I think 3 electrical problems and I don't care. I'm not like don't talk to me about them. If
Mm-mm.
you don't talk to me, they're not there. But yeah, I can't hold like a 5-hour conversation about cars, but I can talk about a lot of other things for a long amount of time and still talk about cars at the same time. So I try to think of it like that. And I also tried to think like, okay, if a person is getting to know me, what are like 3 core aspects of myself that I would like for them to know? I feel like that's what I want my page to entail. Like 1, my car. That's the main part of it. I want to tell my story and about the car and just show my passion for the car culture, car scene, just all of that. 2, my studies, my education, because I value my education very dearly and I want people to know about that. And then just me as a person, myself, like things that I've gone through, things that I will go through, like what I want to do with my life. And I feel like those 3 are very important to me to share with other people. So I feel like those 3 together create my page, if that makes sense.
Makes it makes sense
Mhm.
because you're giving your audience more than just like one thing to look forward to. You know,
Exactly.
they get to see you develop with your car. They get to see you develop, and then they get to see where you're taking your life as far as outside of cars. So it is
Yeah.
a good mix to have all three and put into one spot. Because, like you say, you give your audience and your supporters like a view into how your mind work, to what you're interested in, to the car life. So it just give them a whole like full circle moment with you, with watching everything and how you actually do it. So it is a good way to actually have content flowing through your page. Because if it's not car content, then you know it's something personal. If it's not something
Exactly.
personal, then you know it's something about education. So it is a good foundation to build off of, I'd say.
Yeah. And I feel like it also allows me to engage with people again a lot more because again, if you're not someone who's necessarily into cars, you could be someone who's studying the same thing that I'm studying. If
Hmm.
you're not into what I'm studying or cars, maybe you might find interesting me as a person, like it's that type of thing. So I feel like my page tailors to a lot of different people, like whether that's people with that suffer with mental health, that like cars, that it just are interested in architecture, stuff like that. Like I feel like I have again my hand in so many different like outlets and stuff like that for other people to like just maybe take 1 minute out of their day to listen to me and just maybe be like, oh wait, I understand what she's talking about, or oh I like what she's doing, and create like my own little community.
Right. So speaking of that, you said before how you want to inspire men, goddamn, women and girls, right? Like to get into like what they want to get into.
Hmm.
So what does that mission mean to you personally? Like how did you get there to the point where you want like you put the effort into actually like making it happen?
I feel like growing up as like just growing up as a female, growing up as just like one of the only girls in my household, just surrounded by just a lot of boys, men. Um it really like does something to your mind, like thinking like, "Oh, because I'm a girl, maybe I can't do certain things, maybe I can't like certain things, maybe I can't just learn about certain things." And just I've always felt like I never could do enough. Like, I always did the most to try to catch up to what men were doing, what other boys were doing. Like, me, whether that be sports, I was in a lot of sports as a kid. I got into like a lot of male hobbies, like when I was
Hmm.
younger. And I feel like that was mainly to show that I could also do something, that it wasn't just completely about what men can do or what boys can do. Like, people, not just men and boys, like people. People can do things. That's the moral of the story. Not boys can do things, not girls can. People can do things. People can like things. People can encourage other people. And that's a big thing for me. People encourage other people. I'm not necessarily saying that, oh, I'm only encouraging girls. I'm only like, if you're a boy who like takes interest in my page and like, oh, well, she likes cars. Oh, maybe I like cars too. Like that type of thing. Just as long as you're creating a safe space for people to join the community, I feel like that can make all the difference. Like, again, like I said earlier, I was only comfortable and, like, really came into the car scene because I had a lot of good people around me. If I didn't have that, I would have turned the other way. I would not have been here today. So I feel like my page is also, like, a safe entryway for other people. If they wanna get into the car scene, they know, like, what telling my experience and just how it started for me and how it's going. I hope that inspires other people to say, like, "Oh, well, if she can do it, I can definitely do it." Like, it
Mhm.
doesn't have to be younger women, doesn't have to be women my age, it could be anybody. It could be men my age or boys that are, like, freaking younger or just whatever. I just wanna create a safe space where people can feel like they can ask questions about everything and maybe just find love for the same culture and community that we all did have. I feel like it's important. Yeah.
That's that's very important, and it actually leads to, like, to the next question I was gonna ask you. Like, when you try to represent, it could be the car scene, it could be personal life, it could be like you said, education. If you could set a standard, how do you want people to see or feel coming into, like, the car scene or, like, anything like you, like, share passion in?
Um, I'm sorry, could you ask me the question again?
Like, how would you wanna represent, like, new people? Like, if somebody was coming into the car scene, how would you wanna, like, represent, like, the car scene for them to come into or, like, if they share the same passion as you do with something else other than the car scene, how would you represent it to new people that's coming into it?
I feel like I would just explain probably my experience to them. Like, again, I would tell them, like, how it started for me, how, like, I got into it, and then eventually, like, the cultures, like, the community itself, like, the people that I surround myself with, the people that there are, and, like, it's basically just explaining to them everything that's currently going on with it. Like, I would tell them that most of it, or at least with me, they have a safe space to say, like, "Oh, I don't," because I'm not the type of person who will say, like, "Oh, there's a one, like, car that's, like, ugly, and then there's a car that's, like, amazing, and you have to get this car." Like, it doesn't matter what car you drive. It really doesn't. As long as you share a passion with other people for just the drive itself, I feel like that could already connect you as a person, as, like, 2 people. And I just I would want other people to know that it's not as bad as, like, media or social media even make it seem. Like, obviously, like, when there's an incident on the news, like, the people on the news will try to say, like, "Oh, car culture is so bad, like, all these kids don't care, all these people don't care, like, they're just risking their lives and innocent people's" like, obviously, that's just false propaganda that they're spreading. Obviously, there are instances where things go bad. That's a part of, like, what we're doing, like, people who do takeovers and, like, crash into other cars and, like, injure innocent people, and then there's also the people who know what they're doing, like, the people who know that once they get in the car and get out on the road and go do whatever they're doing, they know what the consequences could be, you know
Right.
what I mean? So I'd explain that to, like, newer people coming in, like, it's not like, yeah, the car scene is great, car culture is great, the cars itself, the people itself can be great, but it's not all glamorous, you know? Like, again, like I said, you can get in the car, you could go to a meet, you could go to a takeover, you could go to, like, just a ride along, and at some point, things can escalate. People can get, like, agitated with other people, and there are races still. Obviously, there are instances where people can be putting their lives in danger, so I would tell the younger people or just the newer people coming in that it may not all be glamorous, but to still stay safe. I feel like driving safe is one of the best things that I would tell them to do because, again, the last thing anyone wants is for anybody else to get hurt. Like, that's that's how it's never good when somebody gets hurt or gets injured or hurts somebody else. So, obviously, cars are amazing. The car culture is amazing. The community is amazing, but at the same time, it's it's very challenging when other people put their ego into it. Like people who would say like, "Oh, my car's faster, let me prove it, let's race." Or just little things like that. Putting other people's lives in danger is not good. So, I'd obviously express caution to anybody new coming into the car scene that, you know, it's not it's not really pretty. Like there's a lot of raw truth that goes into being in the car scene, but if it's what you're passionate about and you do it correctly, then
Hmm.
it's amazing. It's everything, you know?
It is.
'Cause I feel like that's what a lot of younger people, like, again, people my age, don't really seem to understand. They see, like, "Oh, cool cars, fast cars, let's get on the street." Let's, like you can't really create a life out of that, I guess,
Mm.
is what I'm trying to say. Like, you can't just say, "Oh, okay, I have a fast car. Oh, okay, I have a cool car. That's it. I'm a part of the car community." There's a difference. I don't know. It's just it again, if you understand what you're doing, and if you take the time to actually learn about what you're doing, then
Hmm.
you'll be fine. It's like the difference between somebody reading the entire owner's manual of their car and somebody just accepting the keys. There's a obviously one is gonna know more than the other. And I feel like that's a good
Yeah,
analogy. Like if you're gonna sit here and tell me that you're into the car community, I'm not gonna say like, oh, well, you better have watched this YouTuber and seen this movie, and you better have read this book and just watched all of this stuff and then you're allowed into the car. Like, no, that's not necessarily it. As long as you have a good understanding of what is right and wrong and what is like good to do and just I feel like that would be more useful now than ever because a lot of people don't really know what they're doing. And that's very controversial to say, but a lot of people don't know what they're doing. And it
they don't.
can get very bad. Again, like at the takeovers nowadays, if people get hurt, then they're not gonna know what to do. Then people are gonna be scared shit out of their mind because they fucked
Now
up,
you gotta.
and that
Hmm.
one little fuck up can fuck up the rest of their life. Like that's just how it works. Back in the day, I feel like obviously I don't know personally because I'm still pretty young, but I feel like back in the day, obviously everybody had an understanding of things. Everybody was more cautious because everybody put their passion and love for the community over their ego and materialism.
Agreed.
That's why
Very much
even the
agreed.
cars look different now. Like, if you can take a side by side picture of a meet today and a meet from, like, the early 2000s, they're gonna be different, and
Way different.
it's not even gonna be about the cars itself, it's gonna be about the people, and you can see the difference on people's faces. Like, back then, meets had meaning, like, you sure, it was, like, to
Yeah,
show your or just, like, just show people what you got, but at the same time, it was other people coming together to, like, just share the love for it, like, "Oh, what do you have in your car? Oh, wait, that's really cool. In my car, I have a this and this and this," and, like, "Oh, I really like the decals you put on your car," like, but today, I feel like it's just a lot of modern stock engines that not a lot of people are doing anything to. They're just taking the car from the dealership to a meet and saying, like, "Oh, I have a freaking BMW that goes, like, super fast," and, like, "Okay, pop your hood. There's nothing in there, it's just a stock engine," like, not that there has to be anything in there, but, like, "Okay, what have you done to the" "Oh, I tinted the windows."
you do have you to touch base what you said earlier about people knowing more. You do have the people who like studied or who like did their research on like
Yeah,
every car or like every basically every part of the car scene. And then you have people who found it as a hobby who don't know nothing about the car scene, but
exactly.
like they're inspired to get into it. And that's why I feel like that's the beauty in the car scene because the ones who don't know anything, but they're like drawn to the car scene, then like you with the right people, they can really like set you up like to like get to know everything about the car scene, about the different brands like KDM, JDM, Muscle, tuners and exotics, like and then not even just a car brand, like they teach you about the engines, different engines, different tunes, like different for like uh like either going twin turbo or a big turbo or a pro charger, supercharger. And then like all the small stuff, like when you brand new to it and you meet the right people that teaches you everything about the car scene, then like you really understand like car scene is bigger than just cars. It's really like it's the
Exactly.
people that make the car scene what it really is. So the car is just like the car is like the cherry on top. Even though the
Exactly.
cars like they mean the most, it's still like it's the foundation behind the car scene. So like just getting that foundation from somebody who truly like likes the car scene makes it like way better than just like getting into it and doing that. So that's what I love about the car scene.
Yeah, I feel like the cars are just the extension of the people. Like, realistically, the car is just the car until you have the owner behind the wheel, until
Hmm.
you have a person putting their soul into the car. I feel like the people are what give the car life in a way. I feel
It
like
does.
that is the main part of the community. And nowadays not a lot of people see that. Like you said, a lot of people will just do their research about it, about their car, and just call it a day. And then there's people who actually take interest into the actual like culture itself, who do the deep research, who will learn about every single car there is and just fall in love with it, versus the people who just, you know, kind of take it as a hobby and just leave it at that. Like, oh, I like cars, that's it.
Yeah.
Versus, oh, I like cars, I want to be deep into the culture. I wanna be deep into the community. Like, I wanna understand what I'm driving. I wanna know why, like, why this car stood out among the others. Like, just the fascination of just cars in general and people that just take the time out of their day to learn about the car, to learn about different engines, different modifications. Like you said, like, all of that stuff, people who take an interest into that are really the people who, like, deserve applause, basically.
Hmm.
Versus the other people who just like, "Oh, I wanna have a cool car so I could have a cool car." There's a difference, 100%.
100% there's a difference. Let's see. When you think about like your car, your platform, and like your spot in the community,
Mhm.
what's next for your future, like going forward?
Um, I feel like just just to keep going with the car and just seeing where it goes. Obviously, again, I don't plan on ever giving up my car in at any point in time to anyone. Like, you're gonna have to bury me in that car because there's no way, not even in death is that car escaping me. But I don't know, I feel like, um I want to see this project through. I know obviously it's not going to be something that's going to take like only a couple months. It's going to take me a couple years to finish, if that, and just to continue to share my story and hope that I can inspire other people to just, I don't know, maybe have something to look forward to themselves, even if I'm like a little kid is watching me and saying like, "Oh, cars are really cool. I want a car one day, but I'm going to follow her build until I like am able to get like that type of thing." Like, I don't necessarily have a specific age group that I'm trying to inspire. I'm just trying to share my story and inspire other people. And I hope that later along the way, my platform does get a little more bigger, enough for me to help other people do the same thing and just, I don't know. I kind of want my space to seem like you have like a distant friend that you're just watching, just checking up on from time to time. And
All right.
I don't see myself ever completely dropping social media, like just stopping. I feel like every once in a while I might continue to just keep posting, keep doing what I'm doing, but I don't want it to be like my main thing. Like obviously there's influencers who are only influencers and that's it. And then there's influencers that go to school but their main thing is influencing. Like I just want
Hmm.
social media to be something like an outlet for me. I don't want it to be everything because obviously there's other things that are more important than social media. So that's I feel like mainly what I see in the next couple of years is just, inspiring more people as I go and getting my work done, like my personal work and the work with the car and just no, no, living my life normally. I don't really see any I don't really need any significant changes in my life. I feel like I live a pretty good life. So I'm not looking at social media to like get me out of this hole or like whatever, you know? Like it's just something that I can do to maybe at some point help somebody else.
It is. That's what I'm trying to do with this podcast because I do have a lot of other plans with it, but the main goal was to give like the people in the car scene like a safe space to come and just like express their story, have an outlet and a safe place you can come to where like if you want to know anything about cars, you can ask the people within the community. If you just need somewhere safe to go, you can do that with this platform that I'm trying to build up. So in a way, I'm trying to do the same thing. I don't want social media to be everything I'm about because I do want to be outside still, like living life and just having fun, enjoying life. But just this platform is to try to bring the entire car scene together in a way of a safe place, a way that we can give that name back to the car community because the car community is not a bad place. You have you do have people in certain you do have the bad eggs in certain spots of the car scene, but they don't make the car scene what it is. Everything you do gonna have them people that kind of ruin stuff for everybody else, but that's just a part of it. But what kind of community in the car scene do you want to personally help build up?
That's a pretty hard question actually. Because there's a lot of different like little subcategories in the community itself. Like obviously there's the freaking the racing itself, the building itself, and then the meats itself. Like I feel like those are all different subcategories that other people do. Um, I feel like mainly just the builds, because I feel like that as itself means a lot to me personally because that's mainly what I'm doing. But because like I rarely go to like meets or events or just stuff like that. Like I would like to, but I feel like my main focus right now is just the car itself. And I feel like maybe that can my experience can show other people like the it's not all too glamorous. Like the car events, like, oh yeah, they have a nice car, but how did they get this nice car? How much work did you put in to have a car that looks like this, that sounds like this, that moves like this, you know? Like everybody thinks of cars and they're like, oh yeah, car culture, they have those cool cars, those fast cars. They do a lot of crazy shit with their cars. Like I feel like my page kind of shows like the one-on-one with the owner and the car. Like it shows like the harsh environment that you're put in, like when you have to change something or would like to add something new or just to rebuild something. Like I feel like it makes the whole experience more personal than
It does.
just talking about the events. The events I feel like are more community based, like more like getting to meet new people and just talking about interests. I feel like that's cool, but I feel like the more personal you get with it, the more people will be able to understand. Oh, why does she love cars so like why does she love this car so much? And then that's what my page is trying to explain. Like, oh, this is the reason I love it. Like I get put through all of this like frustration and just anger and bullshit, but at the end of the day, it's always gonna be worth it because of the car. Like, it's gonna be worth it because how much I love the car and how much, like, the car means to me. And I feel like a lot of people would relate to that, not necessarily with a car, it could be with another thing. Like, oh, how she feels about her car is how I feel about this thing. Like, I feel like taking the personal way makes me and my page more relatable to other people.
It does. It does for sure. And
So I feel that's important.
we have one more question before like we let you out today. But before we do let you out, you can go and shout out all your pages. For everybody to go and follow you up.
Um, yeah, so oh yeah, okay. So my TikTok and Instagram is fucking Rafe. It's FCKNNRAFE for both of them. And I don't have a lot of content yet, but I'm working on that. I currently got some parts in that I'm gonna be filming a lot of this weekend. And it's gonna hurt my soul to install those inside, and it hurt my bank account, but it's gonna be great. So if you wanna if you wanna tune in, there's gonna be some content coming that way soon. So
Okay. And the last question we ask every guest that comes on the podcast is if you could leave a message if you could leave a message on the billboard for the car community, what would it be?
I feel like drive with passion, maybe? Like, as long as you're in the car, you don't have to have somewhere to go. You don't have to have someone to go to. As long as you're driving and you're just in the car, experiencing life in the car. As long as you have a car to drive, you're good.
Mhm.
I feel like I feel like that's a big thing that a lot of people overlook. I feel like a lot of people take a lot of things for granted and
For sure.
just be grateful 100% and, you know, build with passion, just treat people kindly because at the end of the day, it can't just always be like I fucked that up. At the end of the day, it's you and your car, no matter what.
Always.
At the end of the day, it doesn't matter if you get fired, if you if you quit your job, if you quit school, if you uh, go through a breakup. At the end of the day, it's you and the car, and the car could be everything to you, and that's really all you need. Like, it just does so
And
much. I feel like
a lot of people don't understand like that. If you if cars not your hobby or you're not into cars, you wouldn't understand that passion that people have to their car. Like you said, a car could really be everything to a person. Like it could be a baby to a person, a child. So like if you not like if you're not in the scene of like the car scene and you don't like have that passion for cars like that, you truly wouldn't understand it.
exactly. And I feel like
Not at all.
that's what I'm trying to, like, share with other people too, to help them understand, like, why we care so much about something that seems like shouldn't be cared about. Like, there's other people who don't, like, take care of their car, like, "Oh, I don't wash my car, I don't clean my car," like you said.
Yeah, I
Like,
hate
to
that.
us, it's like, "No, we gotta wash it every single week." At the end of the week, it's waiting to be washed, we gotta vacuum all that, like, we gotta completely tear out the interior just to put it back in, like, it's
It
means a
it
lot
has to be
because
like spotless.
exactly, because to us, again, it feels like an extension of ourselves.
Mhm.
So driving when I say driving with passion, I don't just mean like, "Oh, drive somewhere with the love of driving." I mean, with all the passion that you put into what you're doing, into your build, into just your car it's in itself, the passion that you're putting into it, you're driving with that.
Exactly.
You're driving with everything you got. Everything you got, everything you put in, like, all the blood, all the sweat, all the tears, that's what you're driving with, and that's the most important thing at the end of the day. Even if you can't drive, even if your car doesn't turn on, just sit in the car and be grateful that you even have it. Because
It'll be driving one day. It'll be back on the road soon. You just can't give up on it.
exactly. Even if you gotta push it with all you got on neutral, you gotta push it down the street, at least you have something to push, you know?
You got something to push for.
Exactly, exactly.
That's all we have for today. And like I say, I'm really grateful and honored you came on and shared your story. And
Yeah,
you
100%,
got
thank you for
the
having me.
well, of course, and you got to like tell your story. So that's one thing I want to aim for everybody coming on is to have that spot to come on and tell their story of like how they got into cars, where it's going, and like basically they future with cars. So again, I'm honored. And I thank you for coming on. I thank you for giving us your time to come on and tell your story to the podcast.
Yeah, no problem.
But I do got to send you something because I give everybody something for coming on to the podcast. So right after this, I'll DM you and I'll show you what it is. But I'll let you get back to your day. And again, thank you for your time.
Yeah, thank you so much, have a good day, and bless you, 100%, thank you so much. Hope you get everything that you're working for, and
You too, of
I appreciate you for giving me this time and this space to just speak on just whatever I had to
course.
speak on.
And also, if you ever want to come back on the podcast, you just let me know.
For sure. Okay. Thank you
Okay.
so much.
Thank you.